Hi everybody and welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to the new me. I've reinvented myself because my channel has gone from CC Europop music, that's in the past, because now it's called Global Hits, which is a more apt title for the channel. It really is. Fouzia, who's highlighted today, the track taken from her Film Noir album that everybody is talking about. And if you're not talking about it, after my reaction, I hope you are. I have changed how I throw in the lyrical breakdown and analysis. And it's all about not short and sweet, but it's all about a short video, informative, enjoyable, and one that you will savor. This particular video, you can tell I'm building up, super excited to welcome you back to Global Hits, to a global superstar, to a pop icon, to a Moroccan queen, to everything else I've always said about her. She's insatiable, and my appetite for her will never dwindle, everybody. We're stepping today into the first chapter of the long-awaited album, Film Noir. And these are my own notes, because from today you're going to notice I'm reading my own notes to you. No longer am I going to try and pick them out of my head and come across, which I thought was professional. Sometimes it was a bit fumble. And I've learned from other channels when they're reading their own notes or they have the screen in front of them or they read off the screen, it's much more professional. And it's much more structured. And that's what I want you to grasp as well. That from today, Fouzia's every song I do about it, every video, which will be plenty this year and plenty more to come, you will see, and don't forget in the description, there's a playlist of all the reactions I've done. So this Film Noir, and if you've been with me, you know how much I adore it. I think you can sense it in the tone of my voice. I go up 3 octaves because I'm usually very low speaking. And people say, when Faouzia comes out with any song, you always go like a child. This is my partner making fun of me. Faouzia. So from to this, what do I think of the track? It's different. It is for me the pinnacle track of the album because it's so visceral, it's so cinematic, and it's a film. It's almost like the biography of the album. It really is. And the rest of the songs hang from it. With the context, the mention of the song sets the tone for that entire album, as I mentioned, simply because it's blending in the Moroccan roots with a dark Parisian jazznik noir aesthetic feel. Say that when you're drunk. And it blends everything perfectly. And I personalized in relation to what I was hearing and what I was seeing visually. Because yes, everybody, I do listen to Fouzia's music before I give a reaction. And people who say, "Oh, I just react," and with my fans, they're all lying to you. Nobody on YouTube sits and they just play a song and then they give a reaction. They have calculated what they're going to say beforehand by listening to it. They have gone on, they've searched the internet, they've used the technology to give them their answers. And I think it's wrong. It's wrong. Nothing comes from the heart anymore. And with a song like this, it needs to be. So the summary for me when I was listening was I needed to do a thumbnail. And I've never talked about my thumbnails and the importance of why I structure Fouzia's thumbnails so differently from other artists I feature on my channel. Because she is that kind of creative person that just brings it out. And her songs are so, like this one, visceral, that I just feel it warrants that kind of attention on it. And I've got the woman against the stained glass mirror, and that's Faouzia, and Fauzia's image in front of the Eiffel Tower to incorporate everything that's in the song. So let's head to the city of love and see how it turns out. Does it turn out to be a nightmare? Here, everybody, is I Lost My Mind in Paris by the wonderful, articulate Fouzia.
One minute I was on your arm, you held the door for me. I was stepping in your car. We took the road down to Belleville Park, dancing in the dark, laughed till we cried. Imagine my surprise, baby, what I saw through my window last night. How could a man be so cruel? To the sirens, red and blue, flashing on my ceiling. Rumors fly through the radio. They don't know what you did to me. I bet they'd be surprised. How could a man be so cruel? I lost my mind in Paris, spilled out my blood on the streets. Moment I saw you with her lips of black cherry, stains on my sleeves, taste of your heart on my teeth, bruises and pain on my knees. Don't know what happened to me, mon chéri. I lost my mind in Paris. I lost my mind in Paris. Tu m'as rendu folle à Paris, sans dans la rue Rivoli. Quand je t'ai vue avec cette demoiselle, mais je t'aimerai toujours à mourir.
You know why I can relate to this video? Because somebody said to me, "Oh, she's laughing through the video," and I said, "Did you not take in the title of the song? I lost my mind. She's lost her mind, and when you lose your mind, you kind of have that giddy madness." I enjoyed watching her put jam on the scones. It's my favorite. I I would say start to the day in the morning here. I love Irish scones with homemade jam, apricot particularly, not strawberry. And I'm sitting here going, where do people get she's laughing? They obviously didn't understand the song. It's madness. She lost her mind in Paris, hence my visual on the thumbnail up against the steamed window of a faded image and her sitting on the wall looking at the Eiffel Tower. Why is the Eiffel Tower so iconic? In many ways, it represents strength, and the architecture represents beauty. And there's a depth to it about how it goes up, way up into the sky. It's like people's feelings being released and floating to the sky. It represents a lot of things to a lot of people. And particularly when it came to the lyrics, I found a story within a story reading them. But that is this artist for you. I feel, we've got the irony of Paris here. And how, I love it how she highlights for me, and uses the most romantic city in the world as a backdrop for the brutal betrayal, because that's what the lyrics are about. And it's a contrast between that romantic French lines and the unapologetic, as I say in the lyrics, unapologetic. What is it today with me? I definitely need I'm on another coffee. I think it's because of the excitement of being back to everybody under a new title and a new me. So I unapologetically, I profusely, I'm sorry. That's all I can say. But we go back to her masterclass in songwriting because, it's she's got the brutal portrayal, the contrast between the romantic French lines and the unapologetic violence of the imagery, like the blood on the streets. Also, the blood-stained face. And that's blood-stained tears. I think it represents that. And it's a masterclass in writing, because those are key metaphors, everybody, for this drama to unfold and encapsulate you and tell you this story of craziness. These aren't just, it really isn't just about sadness. It's not. It's a taste of your heart and my teeth, she says. These aren't just about sad words or sad lyrics, because she's highlighting the physical reactions to the shock of seeing a partner or somebody that she was deeply in love with somebody else. And that is horrific for anybody, whether you were expecting it and you had broken off and you expected that to happen, or whether you're with somebody like I feel Fouzia was. I just feel no. There's focus on the line, you know, within the lyrics. Moment I saw you with her, it's a blur. It's about it ought not to have happened. She was with him, and then she sees this. So it captures that exact second when your reality is shattered from the bubble existence you live with this person, thinking this is what they're about, to when your brain literally falters and it crashes. And just like you, you know, my feeling today, which was about, is this going to work for me? Am I going to lose all my subscribers because I've changed from pop to global? And I wanted in this particular song to say that it struck a chord with me. And I'm going to make it very brief. There was a time where I went back to my hotel room and I saw my ex-partner in bed with somebody else. And he was notorious. People had said, don't date him, don't go with him, drop this guy. This guy's not going to do you any good, CC. He's going to hold you back in life. And he sleeps with far too many people. Be careful of your health. And I was constantly getting health checks, and I'm okay, thank God. But to see it, to physically see the person you're with in bed with somebody, regardless of what people warned me and told me about, because I always follow my heart instead of the logic in my brain. It left me at an airport sitting, feeling sorry for myself, to be honest. And I really should have expected it at some point, but I didn't. I just believed I could be the one that could change this person, and I didn't. So I've been there before. And where this was in Paris, and people perceived that as being the romantic place in the world, for me, it was London. And I just felt the capital city of this country is London, England. And I came to see all these sights with a person I thought would share this joy. And I walked into a room, and the person he was in bed with was from his previous line of people that he said was an ex. So I was totally crazy. I went crazy. She went crazy in Paris. I went crazy in London. And I remember just sitting at an airport, and I basically went, and this is the link. I went to Paris. I remember standing after 4.5 hours. I walked up and I did what my friend does. My friend is very eccentric, and he just loves to stand at an airport and pick a destination and fly off. And I did it that day, and it happened to be Paris. That was my third, fourth, fifth, maybe about six times, the sixth occasion I went to Paris, but this time on my own on a plane, feeling very sorry for myself. So I also lost my confidence, my belief in people in Paris. So I related the song for that. For me, this is the summary. The summary of this video is about independence and growth. It reminds you and me, the fans, that Fouzia's projects are as fully independent as an artist could get these days. And It's the first project that she's showing us how independent she is, and it's to be congratulated. The song has taken a full control of the narrative, which she does, and showing the world that she can be dark, edgy, and vulnerable all at once. The verdict for me is 10 out of 10 for the storytelling. It's cinematic pop at its finest, at its most unique. She's uniquely unique. The personal note I take away with this, the losing the mind experience, and and the personal experience I've shared with you, it's just that it's relatable. What she does has always been relatable, but it is the most relatable track on this album for me, because I really said, wow, we all lose our minds at some stage. Mental health is a big thing at the moment, and if you are suffering mental health, I wish you nothing but good karma and the door to be open and that bright light to guide you on your way to success. I really do. I found the bright light by arriving in Paris, and funnily enough, this is the irony of life. I used to work in the north of Ireland, and there was a girl I really hated, and I said, no way on a dark day would I ever give her the time of day after I finished work, and we separated. And I was walking through one of the many streets of Paris, and because I'm not good with names, my current partner is amazing. Behind me is all the maps to prove his entire collection is over 2,500 maps, and he loves to look at maps, study countries, all of that. But for me, I went through this street, came around the corner, and there was Gail, and Gail just froze in the spot. And she took a fit laughing. I took a fit laughing because the irony was, years later, in the middle of this windy street, who would you last think that you would see? And it was the one that you said you never, never. Well, we had a drink, we had a pizza, we enjoyed, we interacted, and we got on famously. How times have changed. And when the light shines its light, everybody, it really will lead you on a path of healing. Believe it. And so the experience, the connection about Faouzia, capturing that feeling of being out of your mind, she does it so well. We've had the moment where the world keeps moving around us, but we're frozen in a single painful discovery. All of us are. That's why we love her. She says the things we only feel in the dark. Good night.